this was something that was kind of funny. This happened today as well. We all know that the Activision Blizzard stuff is a mess. Everybody's trying to figure out what the hell is going on with it. Everybody's trying to figure out like, oh, is Sony going to figure it out? Are they going to be able to get the deal shut down? Is Microsoft going to be able to save it and get this thing to come together? Everybody's wondering. And they just had this piece release, which was honestly, like, it's pretty pathetic if I'm being real. Sony suggests to the CMA, which is the European, like, board that they have to convince, they suggest to them that Microsoft could release a buggy version of Call of Duty on PlayStation, which could make gamers lose confidence, quote, in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Seriously. Let's read it ourselves. Third, swiftly detecting any diversions from and ensuring compliance with a commitment as to technical or graphical quality would be challenging. For example, Microsoft might release a PlayStation version of Call of Duty where bugs and errors emerge only on the game's final level or after later updates. Even if such degradations could be swiftly detected, any remedy would likely come too late, by which time the gaming community would have lost confidence in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Indeed, as Modern Warfare 2 attests, Call of Duty is most often purchased in just the first few weeks of release. If it became known that the game's performance on PlayStation was worse than on Xbox, Call of Duty gamers would decide to switch to Xbox for fear of playing their favorite game at a second-class or less competitive venue. Little bit conspiratorial, I'll be real. They're like, well, we can't, because bear in mind, this is in response to Microsoft being like, we'll bring it to PlayStation. We'll bring it to your platform, okay? We'll play nice. Sony's like, yeah, but they might do it, and then they might hide bugs and hide, like, performance issues later in the game so that we can't detect it in time. What? Okay, like, this is basically a conspiracy theory filed in court, and it's really, really funny. They go on, Sony isn't happy with Microsoft's Call of Duty 10-year deal. Microsoft have, quote, dragged their feet, engaging only when they sensed the regulatory outlook was darkening, and favored negotiating in the media over engaging with SIE. Nintendo and Nvidia both signed the 10-year deal, though. Bear in mind, reports have come out that... what's his name? Dingus McFlicker. Jim Ryan. That's close to Dingus McFlicker, right? Well, that's pretty close. President of Sony Interactive Entertainment, Dingus, Jim Ryan. He came out and, or it's been leaked rather, it's been suggested and reported that he has stopped attending meetings and calls. He's not actually negotiating with Microsoft. So, like, this is projection at its finest. And I'm about to show you something that shows that PlayStation's the one that's actually doing all of this stuff, but we'll get there in just a second. Sony, what they said was, quote, as the CMA is aware, SIE made known its concerns about the transaction to Microsoft almost a year ago. In the intervening period, Microsoft has not shown any real commitment to reaching a negotiated outcome. They have dragged their feet, engaged only when they sensed the regulatory outlook was darkening, and favored negotiating in the media over engaging with SIE. Microsoft's most recent proposal, which SIE received blank, is telling. That proposal fails to provide adequate protection for PlayStation's access to Call of Duty or for competition. Instead, it reveals Microsoft's lack of commitment to ensuring full and equal access to Call of Duty, confirms the risks of a behavioral remedy outlined in the guidelines, and reinforces SIE's belief that Microsoft intends to use Call of Duty strategically to dominate the gaming sector. Microsoft says its 10-year deal for Call of Duty on PlayStation means any Call of Duty game can be on Sony's subscription service. Sony says Microsoft's proposal for licensing terms is, quote, troubling and would, quote, commercially destroy SIE's multi-game subscription business model. Okay, let's see. The remedy will provide that the wholesale price of COD games offered to Sony, wholesale price is some cut for the equivalent version of the game on the Xbox platform, streaming rights and subscription rights. Any COD game in a Microsoft multi-game subscription is eligible for inclusion in Sony's multi-game subscription service at the same time and for the same duration. Rumors have had it that, again, they'll offer it for the wholesale price, which is at some discount for the equivalent version of the game on the Xbox platform. So, they're offering a tit for tat. And they've said all this. And so, again, the main protestation from PlayStation is that PlayStation, or Xbox rather, might be leading to versions of the game that run worse on their platform, which would make them look less competitive and therefore bad. You want to know what's really rich about this? Guess what PlayStation's been doing? They've been doing the same thing to polish, sending 150 employees to help polish games that they think are going to be popular so that they run better on PlayStation and thus worse on Xbox, so that people see PlayStation as the definitive place to play games. Again, in a roundabout way, without paying for exclusivity. This is one thing Jim Ryan's done, which to his credit is actually pretty smart. He figured out that, hey, we don't need to pay for outright exclusivity of a game like Callisto Protocol. We don't need to do that. All we need to do is buy the rights to marketing, so everybody passively just assumes it's exclusive. And we need to offer support and polish for the games on our platform so they run better. Done. And that's what they did with Hogwarts Legacy. And to this day, people still think that Hogwarts Legacy is exclusive to PlayStation. Even though there's no reason to think that. They think that because PlayStation owned the advertising rights. Same with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, because they bought the advertising rights. So all of the trailers will have the PlayStation 5 logo, will have all of that stuff on their platform to make it look exclusive to PlayStation, even though it's not. And again, that's very, very strategic. And this is why, again, there are arguments to be made against the ATVI acquisition. Sony is the worst possible group to be making these arguments, because it's the pot calling the kettle black. They are guilty of everything that they accuse Xbox of wanting to do, which also just hurts their image, because for regular gamers like you and me who don't care where we play games, we just want to play good games, it just makes them look pathetic. And that's what this looks like. It looks pathetic. And yeah, I've had people come in. I've had Sony ponies come in and be like, you're just an Xbot. Like, how many Xbots do you know that own 3 PS5s? Okay, like, chill the hell out. I love Sony games. I love their PlayStation exclusives for sure. Look behind me, right there. That's The Order 1886, a commercial flop of a console exclusive. That's The Last of Us Part 2, one of the most awarded games in history. It was the most until Elden Ring came along. Behind Todd. No, Todd, no. I have Horizon Forbidden West's collector's edition there. I love PlayStation stuff. I don't love corporate bigwigs arguing in extremely disingenuous ways and being like really crummy. I don't like that. I have a problem with that. He took my thing. Red flag.